Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, friends and colleagues from across the world. Thank you for joining us today in our weekend podinar. We have a special guest today from Canada, Dr. Bak Nguyen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Shah, for having me. It's been a while since
It,
we last been on a screen together.
that's right. It's been a little bit over a year. We did the book with you a couple of years ago, the first Doctor to Doctor book. And then at that time, if I recall, you were roughly around 60 some books, and now you're over 100. You're a force of nature, Doc.
I think to be exact, I was at 64 or 65. And I recall that on screen, I told you that I was making my math. So if I want to keep my word record pace, I have to write 8 books within 8 days for 8 weeks straight. And you were following me. The crazy thing is, I finished that one with 10 days in advance. That was crazy. But that was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago.
Well, you've broken all records out there and have helped a lot of people with your books. I'm very honored to have you on the show today. And now you have taken on another major project, which we intend to talk about today, a humanitarian effort for the benefit of others. And tell us a little bit about that. How did you explain a little bit how the alphas came together and how this whole movement started that we're going to be addressing today?
The alphas, that started about 2 years ago when COVID hit us, and this is where we start coming together and see how we can just share information and also help each other cope through this. So the alphas are much broader than just dentists and doctors. We are all leaders and actually entrepreneurs around the world. But as dentists, we've been benched. I don't know if you recall, but we've been benched 2 weeks prior to everybody else. So we were the people with free time on our hands. So the dental branch from the Alpha, it's one of the strongest because when I started reaching out, everybody was starting to look for answers, and everybody was on the web. So this is how we start. I think that was in March 2020, and slowly we start to organize. Saying organizing is it's a big word, but we have different kind of challenge to face, and I think that within a few months of that crisis, I met with you, and then we came to connect up to talk about more how doctors can come together to make a difference. So we haven't stopped since we were the alphas at the beginning. Since we're looking for answer, we're looking to connect with people, and that was going from online, from Zoom calls. That became shows, that became podcasts. Today, I can tell you that for the last year, alphas are more writing books, so we're more discreet. And lately, what happened? One of our alpha reached out, Dr. Lina,
Yep.
saying that she needs helps, and just like any of us, we were there and listening, and then we got kind of caught in this wave, and that opened our eyes about what we can do and what is happening in the world today. So that's how it's all started, because we say yes to helping a colleague.
That's wonderful. You have grown it all over the world, the alphas now. How many doctors do you have on board?
I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you that right. It's time to write a
I know
book.
there's a lot of leaders that also have collaborated with the Global Summits Institute that I know personally, and it's pretty phenomenal what you're doing and this goodwill effort. I am very interested in because as doctors, you're inherently responsible for looking for ways to help others. Obviously, we have no beef in a war. We're more interested in the humanitarian crisis that's being um, perpetrated on both sides. So we want to kind of learn more from you what your ideas are now, where we can come together as dentists and do our part, do our contribution. So a little bit more. So Dr. Lena, I know her very well. Also, she's from Ukraine, and it's very sad that our colleagues have to bear this kind of a situation. So one thing led to another. I got a notification one day, and I thought it was a great idea. So I joined the group, and I hope a lot of our colleagues will do the same. But tell us what we can do as dentists to alleviate some of this human suffering.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw, for asking the question. I think that as dentists, we are most and foremost human beings, And my colleague said that we have big wallets, so we can afford to help. And also, we have pledged to do good and to help people. So I think that the easiest thing to do at this stage will be to donate. But if I go back, and I'm being a little, let's say, egocentric here, let's go back to our own problem. And last, the last 2 years, we were the first one to be benched as health professional. So if I'm being blunt here, can I be blunt?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This is
If
uncensored here.
what we all realize as leaders, especially in the dental field, it's when a health crisis, people bench all of us all at once with all our credentials, all our diplomas, and everything that we do, we done, and nobody cares much. They start caring after 3 months after that. Said, now we need our dentist to come back. But I think that was a wake up call, saying that as a health profession within a health crisis being benched, it's not good. It's not good. So if I look in this just from our perspective of things, saying that I think this is a great opportunity for us to stand as a profession and make our stand, saying that we can make a difference. And right now, it's not about teeth; it's about helping. We are doctors, mainly. It's about helping people. And I had this discussion with many of the leaders and the thought leaders around the world, saying that how can we help? And every time you touch about this discussion about Ukraine, it's about this politics involved. But if you focus solely on the fact that right now people are losing their homes, losing their family, looking for food, looking for shelter, I think that this is exactly what we have pledged our life to, helping people.
The reality
And
doesn't hit in until it actually happens to you. You know, we're seeing it on TV, we're hearing about it, but it's a devastating scenario for anyone to be in this environment. And it would be good if there was some sort of humanitarian type approach to this problem. I'm very proud of what you're doing as a colleague, I got to tell you, because we're so consumed with our lives. We're getting hammered by negative news all day long on TV. We got our own personal family issues, but to step out of that room and start something. And I want to also emphasize something you told me back in the green room is that there's zero interest going to anyone but the people in the crisis. So whatever we achieve for them through the mechanism that you're building is going to be 100% going to this effort. Please elaborate. What is your motivation to do this and take away from your family and practice and patients and your own personal challenges to come out and do this for the greater community?
thank you so much. That was supposed to be my conclusion, but let's dig it right here. Um, I'll be who I know how to be. I'm Dr. Bak. I can be unfiltered, I can be bold. I'm very polite, but what make me act, it's a help call for friend, for a friend call for help, and I couldn't say no to that. And then I realized that I spent the last few days. By that point, I was at around I think March 5th or March 6th, and you watch things on the news, and I don't know about you, but I start to feel frustrated and also powerless about that the world is changing and people, yeah, people are suffering, but the more it's escalating, the more say that this can happen to any one of us. So I think that that kind of obsession that you're talking about, or the kind of the speed I'm bringing to this, it's because I didn't want to feel powerless. I didn't want to feel just like before COVID, insignificant. So as a dentist, I took my title, I took the connection I had, and I just wrote people, "Hey, can we do something about it?" And it was amazing how people react. And right now, Kianor, I'm not somebody who like to flatter people, but the way that you respond and you brought your might to this, help me, inspire me. Actually, it's a, if you're doing so, I have to do even more to be worth that effort. And I think that that started with Lena, then Nazari that you will be hearing about. That came to me, and by today, I think that within our organization, because we are an international coalition at this stage, there's more than 100 people that are actively working for this to work. So
Wonderful.
today, the two of us, but I think that we're just two people that are having great smile and taking this message to the next level. But by all means, there's so many people working behind this than the two of us.
That's wonderful, and you shall have the support of the Dream Team and the Global Summits Institute as you pursue your humanitarian project. And we're very, very, very proud to be part of it. And we thank you for what you're doing on behalf of dentists. With that said, Doc, perhaps it's time to kind of lay out what a plan is, what you have achieved so far, and maybe you take over the floor and we listen and learn.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. So, with your permission, I would like to share you a small presentation, which I borrowed part of it from Dr. Nazari. So let's go through the story of this, how it started and what it is. So the idea here is to unite our effort to help Ukraine for peace and humanity. So let me repeat, for peace and humanity. Within 2 weeks, we have managed to have members from 8 countries to join us. So this is an international effort, and we are trying to make a common front to this. Now, this all started by, I think it was March 5th, where Dr. Lina Sivikwite from Lithuania reach out and say she sent me a Zoom link, and I was on vacation. I missed that link, and we reconnect, and she brought on the table the subject that there's people in Ukraine. We have a dentist in Ukraine who are very renowned because it's all about this network of C formation, and this is how we share information among. But this time it's not about teeth anymore. It's about the war and what has happening over there. So she introduced Dr. Nazary Mikhailyuk from Ukraine, and he is inside of Ukraine. So just putting in perspective, that was at the beginning of the war. I think that the war started less than a week. And we all heard things from the news, but now to have this from a trust dentist, Israel, and Dr. Nazari was giving speech in Las Vegas 2 weeks prior to this. So he is really what we could be every day. And with your permission, I don't like to speak for Dr. Nazari. Let's hear from him. So I cut out 6 minutes of the presentation that he gave us by that time. So if everybody is ready, this is Dr. Nazari speaking.
Look, the rocket is flying. Look, on the left. This is what people see every evening. Again, in the center of Europe. Geographically, Ukraine is the center of Europe. These are the results, how our cities look like now. Just a normal neighborhood. Or look at this town over here. The BBC was filming this a few days ago in Kiev Oblast. Look, the military destroyed on the streets. Look at the houses. A week ago, everything was safe over there. The families, the kids playing, and now look at their homes. Not many, but most of those people, this is all they had, the apartment where they lived. And once now it's destroyed, they don't know where to go and where to live. They don't know what their future is going to look like. Yes, there is a small percentage who had maybe some bigger possibilities or more houses or in different locations, but most of the people, look, they lost everything. More videos how the evenings look like. This is called vacuum bomb. And now, this is the result of the vacuum bombs. Sorry, but I have to show this to you. People tore apart.
Посмотри, оторванное мясо. Пошли, Борис, сюда быстрее, Софи. Блядь, пиздец. Вау. Вот это удар был. Поотрывало людям руки.
He's saying that the hands are apart, head is off.
Это заживо горит. сука.
So this is how our cities look like now. This is what they're doing. Again, no military rules, not just fighting with the army, but the goal is to destroy Ukraine. Because Russian President Putin, he completely hates Ukraine. Why? Because this is the only country, now besides Lithuania and Estonia and Latvia, that were in Soviet Union, but now is actually moving to the side of Europe. And that's why he just wants totally to destroy. Kill people, he doesn't care about anything. No rules. Now look how our kids live right now. In the underground, look. From the kindergartens, they were taken away. And they sleep right like this, like fish, you know? Look at the small kids on the left slide, on the left image. And now, women, many women give birth to kids in conditions like this one. So they are killing civilians. They are just destroying everything. Look at this woman. She lost 2 legs because of the bomb. Look, you will never see this on the news. Look, there's a leg. Yeah, crazy stuff going on here. And but of course, I believe that our army is going to protect us. Russia is already. I'll go one slide back. Oh, sorry, I'll go one slide back so I can focus on speaking. Our army is fighting really brave, and the plan of Russia was actually to conquer Ukraine in maximum 3 days. Everybody, by the way, including Europe, was confident that in maximum 3 days, the Ukraine is gonna go down. But we did not, and we are not planning to. Right now, quite successfully, we are fighting with Russian army. By the way, Russian army is in top 3 armies of the world. And if you look on the map of the world, Ukraine is like 50 times smaller than Russia. Ukraine is the size of Texas. But because we are fighting on our land, because we are fighting for our country, we are so strong. They don't have a goal. Their army doesn't even know why they are going to Ukraine. It's because our president told them to. But we have a goal, we have our land, we have our country, and we are going to fight and protect it until the end. We also are thankful to the countries in Europe, to the US, because now they support us a lot. They also send us weapons. We ask them a lot to close the sky above Ukraine, because if they close the sky, they will not be able to send rockets to Ukraine. But for right now, NATO is afraid of Russia. The whole NATO is afraid of Russia. So because they're afraid if they close the sky, that the conflict is going also to start with the NATO countries. But because of that, all these kids and the grown-ups and the other people are just dying.
So this is what he explained to us, and I cut it short. There's 2 components to this. You can see that there's the war effort. There's also the people in crisis. It's been 2 weeks. I can tell you that we haven't been able to reach Nazareth since. Hopefully everything is fine. But some of the image that he's shown, that was within a week of the war. If you turn on the news today, some of the cities has been, not part of cities has been leveled to the ground. So the story is much worse than what we see here. That was 2 weeks ago. And if we go to this morning, I went online and said that there's 3.3 refugees. And those are divided family. That means that people have left their home, and those are the ones who have crossed the border to Poland or other countries. And those are just women and children, or the elder, because the men are staying behind to fight. So those are not 3.3 million family. Those are 3.3 million divided family that has been somehow chased from her home, from their home. The numbers are around 6.5 million people within Ukraine that also have flee. So there's a massive movement of population. And just to put things in perspective, when we made that video, we were talking about 1 million refugee. And I, I remember that a few days ago, so about 5 days early to that million, we were talking about 600,000 refugees. So the crisis, it's real. It's happening as we speak. And just out of curiosity, said that people are moving around, and you can saw that on the news. People are just carrying some luggage. Sometimes they have nothing. Look at the temperature over there, and this is next week forecast. It is freezing cold. This is as cold as Canada. So no, forget the idea of politics. Forget the idea of who's right, who's wrong. But they are human carrying around the youth, the elder, sometimes walking within a freezing cold, and so many of them has moved on. I think that last week, Poland has voiced up saying that they are out of resource to help. This is happening as we speak, and I think that this is why if we open the TV, we watch the news, it is we all felt powerless, but it is something we can do without taking a stand, without making anything that can be eventually backfire. Um, we're not taking side here. We're taking the side of life, of peace, of humanity. So with that kind of speech, I was able to reach out to the alphas and all our friends. And we talk a lot about dentists because this has been started by dentists. But I have to tell you that the effort is much broader than that. We have people from all branches who has come in to help. But right now we have members in 8 countries who have stepped up and saying that we want to do this and want to unify our effort. In other words, unify our donation and also stand to send over there a message. Because when Dr. Nazari was taking the floor and speaking, he asked us to support the war effort. He asked us to support the humanitarian effort, but he also asked us to spread out the message to tell people what's really happened over there. So our effort here is much more than just to inform, but yes, we want to do this. It's much more than to try to just pull our money together. But I think it's a message that we like to send of hope to see that you are not alone. That people on the ground, people that are desperate, people are just lost right now. There's hope, there's good. And it wasn't part of the video, but Dr. Nazari opened, and then that it's the link will be provided. You can all watch the integral presentation of Dr. Nazari. He said that within a week, what he learned is how much Ukraine can start hate. Because right now they are dying over there, and that was within a week. So if I take exactly that, what we're trying to do here is to send a message of hope, some love. And that might give them the inspiration they need to keep going. So if you allow me, let me introduce to you the organization that has been put in place within 2 weeks. From India, we have, and each alpha, the alphas that we're presenting here are the one who has stepped up in an active leadership role, but there's, again, so many more people involved in this effort. But Professor Pritendra Singh from India will be leading the effort for India. From Lithuania, Dr. Lina will be taking the leadership, and she was the person who started this within the alphas. In France, we have a mayor, Dr. Philippe Faux, who will be taking the lead. So every time it's about having boots on the ground, talking to the people, and mainly you have to talk to people. You have to convince people to say that it is a real effort. We have to come together and maybe set aside our difference, but we have to act right away. It is now, right? It's happening. From Spain, we have Dr. Masha Kayani that has stepped up to become auditor in Spain. From Peru, we have Dean Julio Herfanaje. From Germany, we have alpha dentist Dr. Aurora Alba. In Canada, for now, I'm stepping up for the role, but since I have to coordinate the global effort, we are actively negotiating for somebody who will be taking over the leadership for Canada. I'll keep be making the connection with the governments and stands and the other branch who can help us. In the United States, it's right. We have many members. I have to tell you, we have many members in the United States, all very prominent faces that like to, and we're in the negotiation of who can rally everybody. This is not about pride. It's not about power. It's about who have the most reach within the least time, because we have to act right away. So Canada and the United States will be hopefully officialized within the next few days. But in the meantime, let me just show you what we're doing, because we're not waiting for our leadership role to be confirmed. We are acting. With today's presentation, it's also helping me to just thank and also officialize the members, the global partners that have come together. Because mostly what we are today here is we are an international coalition of led by dentists, but of people coming together to try to help. So the Global Summit led by Dr. Kianor Shah was one of the first organizations who voiced up and said that we be putting our might behind you. And I'm not somebody who likes to flatter, but Dr. Shah, I have to say that your involvement and your response when we was doing this helped me to push this to the next level. And we're not just on screen talking. There's a lot that's happening behind the scene. I can tell you that I knock on all the doors. I broke down the doors that I knew, but your involvement did inspire us to do even more. So thank you so much.
It's our greatest honor we can ever achieve to help our colleagues at the Global Summits Institute. And for all of the constituents of 600 top 100 docs, and also our dream team and various committees of total over 750 doctors that we collaborate with, please take initiative in your countries and help Dr. Bak as he needs all the support we can provide him with. And we are very thankful for this initiative, and we hope to see more initiatives like this brought to us that we can support.
Thank you. And again, don't underestimate the impact you can have, because it's just reaching out. We just give hope to another person who's gonna do a little more and a little more. Within 2 weeks, we have now an impact team that are knocking on the doors of 8 countries, and I cannot thank everyone here. So please forgive me. I was just naming the people in active role, but between the Alphas organization, between the Global Summit organization, and the two other partners I like to bring up right now, B Dental, led by Dr. Kenyani and Dr. Sirota, is also very actively helping us in this effort. So mostly, that we had a network of people just providing continuous education. That was the main network that we used to spread this effort. Also, we haven't talked about it, but Professor Putaya is also one of the first member who started voicing up, said that we have to do something. So more than just that donation effort, he is putting online a formation network where most of the part of the fees that he be grossing will be donated directly in the long term to this effort. But to summarize this, I can tell you that this, I think we're shy of 100 people or more working in this between the alphas and all our global partners, and each alphas also represent their own network. So this is really a collective effort. We're saying that it's dentists because dentists has a voice up, and I think that right now we have a public of dentists, so it is easier for us to connect to that message. But I can tell you that without the help of the other branch in the alphas, we would have been possible for us to put that uh, forward as quickly. We have people from the financial industry, from the entrepreneur industry, who are right now making the bridge to the Canadian government. And let me just plunge right into this. What are we asking you at home? It's if you feel compelled to be part of this and to donate. You can donate to a lot of organizations. If you'd like to be part of this united effort, there's a link, but mostly what we're asking you is just to pledge a donation. We're going to take your name and email and country. By on the one screen, if you'd like to take a more active role, you can check the box of join the team or become an alpha, a leader to lead a country that is not has been represented yet. And our job is to try to empower you to do even better than what we do. We don't care who's winning here. What we care is that the help is coming and hope is rising. I have to be very, but very precise that no money will be transacted from this website. All we're doing right now is to accumulate the pledge, and with your authorization, as soon as it is officialized, we're gonna just transfer that to the Canadian Red Cross. And that's the reason why we use Canadian Red Cross. It's not because I'm Canadian, but yes, I'm very proud to be Canadian. Canada, within the leadership of our Prime Minister, has put a program said that they are matching the funds of each Canadian who are donating, and that was ending, I think, at the end of last week. So by tomorrow, it's not done yet, but by tomorrow, we'll be having a discussion with the Canadian leadership saying that we would like to have that same program extend to international donation coming from our initiative. What I'm telling the government, and please back me up on this one, is we are relying, we're unifying a profession that answer the call of our leadership. This time it's not just Canadian, but it's all the dental field united. And this is what I'll be telling them. This is the reason why we need you to sign up quickly, as many as possible, and to spread the message around. Because we just need to prove to the government that we're more than just people who can organize network, but there's real intent behind. So the whole goal here is to make sure that our donation will be matched by the Canadian government. So mostly it's a leverage of having a 2-to-1 donation. And I was speaking with leaders from other countries and saying that if we can have the same from other country, we'll be moving forward as well. So this is not just to have a flag, it is about leverage. Now, if this going forward and as well, all the donation will be processed by Canadian Red Cross, which today is taking care of that program for the Canadian government. This is not official. This is what we're trying to do. But I can tell you that we are within 1 or 2 phone calls of the leadership of those partners, and things are happening as we speak. Now, I'm gonna just take this as a chance to just explain myself. Usually, when you have somebody taking the screen talking to you, would be especially doctors and dentists, we'll be talking about the past, what we've already done, what is secure. Today, I'm taking a bold risk here. I'm talking about what we are trying to achieve as we speak. What will happen tomorrow? I'm doing this because we don't have much time. 2 weeks has passed already, and we try to organize as fast and as soon as possible. That said, I took the time to introduce to you the leaders to be working with. So you can check them out. Most of them are very high profile people with respect reputation. You know that they do what they say they do, or which die trying. I'm gonna add something to this, and we start with this joke. Dr. Shah and I, when we first started, 2 years ago, I was saying a bold thing on screen saying that I'd be writing a book every 8 days for 8 weeks straight, and I did it. I'll be putting the same kind of energy and determination behind this, but with all the humility I can have, I can tell you that I cannot win this one alone. I need you. I need your network. I need your will to make a difference. All I can do here is to beg for help. And I'm saying beg. Take the word you want. You see me, you might see a leader. If I need, I'll beg. But I want to do a difference. I don't want to look at this in a few weeks from now saying that, oh, I could have. Because
You
when I
did.
see things that happened 2 weeks ago and what it is today, and in between, we're trying to make a difference, it's not good enough. So we're doing our best, and I'm asking you for your forgiveness, saying that we are not presenting you things that happened already, but this is your chance to be part of what will be happening. And this effort has it's again it's a united effort. We were trying to reach more and more network to come with us, more and more country to come with us. So we have three websites, one in English, which is this is the site link. We had one in French. You know that in Canada we have always have to speak in two languages, and also that helped a lot our partner from France. By the way, our partner from France, it's a dentist mayor. This is how cool dentists can have more meaning than just in a clinic, and he's really a mayor.
Doc, you'd be surprised how many key roles doctors hold in various governments, and you'd be surprised in all facets of the supply chain. I would wager that we are the most powerful entity on this planet. Doctors are. We have the knowledge, we have the work ethics, we have the assets, we have the connections, and we are a family. Whether a lot of people agree or not, we are bound by an oath, by the same lives, and when you have a family, Doc, and there's external forces that sort of put that family in a corner, the family rises up and sticks together and prevails. That's how families usually work. Now, when we had the COVID response, we all came together, and it was something that I had never seen before in my lifetime. And we need that kind of flame to also do the good in the world. So if our colleagues do come together as you have initiated, and all these always takes a little spark to start a big fire. So hopefully this is the spark that we have a leader here that is willing to step up and take away from his life and career to help others. Maybe we can tag on and do the same. And I think if a fraction of the doctors around the world collaborate, you would be surprised what kind of a mighty force that would be.
Tasha, I would like to just maybe push what you just said to the next level. I'm no leader. I'm a host. And what we're trying to do here, and within the time we had, was to empower more leaders to emerge. So that's our role, and that's also why Canada has been left as an interim, because if you're trying to push as a leader, I think there's just so much you can do. But if you inspire more leaders to come together, to gather and to emerge, there's so much more we can do because there's many of us. And just to give you a proof of this, you know that there's no real organization behind this. It's just people coming together and vouching their own time, their own resource. But since we have our own organization, everybody speak from here and here. We had one site in Spanish. I don't even have that for myself. We managed to have this within, I think, 24 hours from the first website that was in English. And this was thanks to Dr. Kanyani. She asked, "Do you have something in Spanish?" And I responded and said, "No, but would you help? I would have." She said, "I'll come back to you in 5 minutes." She came back to me 20 minutes later. The whole site was translated. What do you want me to do? It was Saturday. I had other things to do. I still have books to write, and I'm running behind on those books. But how do you respond to somebody who just translated the whole website within 20 minutes? And she said 5. That pushed me to the next level, and I couldn't reach my people. I made this site happen. And I sent her back a link I think within an hour. And she said, "Whoa, crazy, this is fast." This is how leaders can come together and empower one another. Today, thanks to her initiative, we have a site in Spanish. And for the people, I knew I did this in the past. People say that if you guys are doing so much, what do you have to gain out of this? I'll tell you what I have to gain out of this. The peace of mind, looking back at this in the future, say that I was not just watching this on the news saying that I might have done something. Or if the person were reverse, if I was the one in need, I would so much appreciate people to take
But it could have been you or me, Dr. Bach. Lena and Nazari, they're dear friends of the community, and it could have happened to you or me. So it's not far-fetched to be in the same position and seeking the help and aid of your colleagues. And also, it's interesting you mentioned that because there's a lot of baby boomers that are still around from World War II, and they have those regrets. Why didn't we do something? Why didn't we do something? Why didn't anybody do anything? So we can only stomp out evil with good, and what politicians and military people destroy in this world, we fix as doctors. We always have, and now we have to step up and do the necessary. So this is wonderful that you have done this in Spanish. With between Spanish and English, I think you have a very large area of the map covered in terms of communication. We just have to route our colleagues to that area. What? How do you get to those two sites? Is there a link that translates it, or okay?
Actually,
Here we go.
there's three links, and from one to the next, if you press on the flag of the country, those who are active will link you to the right tongue. You said something, Dr. Shah, and let me just precise. We talk about military and politician, and not all politicians are the same, not all military are the same, and we have those within our members. So this is about people who like to help versus people who are destroying. And just to be clear here, I think that the needs are there. If you have the will and that desire, say that I like to look at this in the future, say that I've done my part or I've done something. We are encouraging you to voice up. And if you want, you have ideas, you have connection, you can become one of the next leader. This effort here is we're bringing our resources together, just like the bit of COVID, and we'll be taking, I think, advantage of one another because we have different talents, we have different connections. But by the end of the day, we're helping people that right now are in need, and that number is exploding day after day. So, as a conclusion, this is a stand for peace and humanity, and I cannot stress that enough. You're not taking side here. You're not making a political stand. Even if we are working with politicians and we work with everybody who likes to work with us, but it's a stand for humanity, peace, and I like to add dignity. Because nobody, I think, no one deserves to be chased away from their home, away from their life, away from their family. And
Because of
if we
some
don't say, we don't
dispute
voice up,
between two governments. That's the sad story of our world and our time, that innocent people that have nothing to do with it are displaced, deprived of their wealth and home and their schools, and it's just completely nonsensical and unacceptable in reality. You're correct. But then again, it comes back to the scenario that doctors fix all the things that people do. At the end, it falls on our shoulders.
you write a book about that, The
Always
Power
has.
of Culture.
Power of DR. That's right. That's another book I encourage you guys reading. It's in the same line that when we originated the Doctor to Doctor movement, we turned to Dr. Bach and asked him if he would help us formulate it in writing as to what we're trying to achieve. And he stepped up like he always does when we seek his support. And none of us knew how to write books. And he stepped up and he helped us. He got a bunch of our colleagues involved. And we wrote a wonderful book. And that's what it's all about, Doc. So just like that, when you were helping us 2 years ago, it's our duty to help you with your not a precondition, but just our duty to help you with your wonderful projects and the things that you do within the medical and dental community. So let's take a stand for humanity, eh?
So mostly what we're asking you, because we really need your help. We can't do this by ourselves. We need, if you want to donate, pledge a donation on a website, just sign up, and you know that your privacy is important. The only one we're going to share your name with, or Red Cross around the world. If you'd like to take a more active role to this, please share the site, spread the message around, and as many people get involved into this movement will take a life on its own. And the last thing, if you'd like to have a more active role in this, as I've shown, there's a way you can just check the box, say that you want to get involved, you want to take a more active leadership role. Somebody will contact you and see how we can work together. So this is not about following a leader. It's about rising up as leaders, empowering one another, and to bring hope to those people fighting over there, fighting to survive. They're just fighting to survive and to protect what they have or to find back what they have. I have to add this has been an initiative by the dental branch of the Alphas, but even if we say that dentists are united, um, it would have been possible without the help of the other branch of the Alphas who came together, who help us bridge with the governments, bridge us with the big organization. And I'm gonna say that again. I think that by now, in 2 weeks, we might be a little shy than there's about more or less 100 people actively working for this to work within the different organization. So if you think you can do something, you can. And whatever you bring to the table, you'll be surprised how much that can inspire somebody else to do even better, a little more. Just like Dr. Shah and I are doing one for another. I think that if we're today in front of you talking, it's because we say, let's jump into this. Let's jump. Let's see what we can do, and then let's try to win. If this one thing I like is to win, and the one thing I hate is to lose. So I'm saying that in front of the screen. Please don't make me into a liar. Help me win this one. This is gonna be a win for all of us. With
Either we're
this,
gonna be first or we're gonna be last. Right.
I don't mind I'm first, I'm last. I don't want to lose. But here's the website again. Please sign up, spread that around, and if you like to join and help, you're welcome. With this, your permission, Dr. Shah, I know that we're on your platform, but I have to say it. Welcome to the Alphas. Welcome to the World Top 100 Doctors. Welcome to the Global Summit Institute. Welcome to welcome to the world.
Welcome to the new world. That's right. So, Doc, please kindly have Anshul or yourself list all the links that are relevant to the presentation, as well as to the donation site with the multi languages, to the thread of this Porinar, so people can readily access it. And Mr. Gupta will help get it to the top of the comments so people can find it very quickly. Please look out for that. And on behalf of our entire community of dentists, you're a protege of what a doctor could be, a clinician, an entrepreneur, a humanitarian, venture capitalist, all of those things that they say doctors can't do. You can, and I hope and wish you the best in your endeavors with the Alphas and our continuous collaboration with the Global Summits Institute. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw, for those kind words. I would just tell you that I'm just a lazy guy who like to keep my word. And if people reaching out, the way I know how to act is all in. So that's what's happening. But step up, and I can come back as becoming the lazy guy that I'm used to be and like to be. And you being having my help to win.
Yes, let's win, and this will give us an opportunity to bring more of our colleagues together. So I'd like to have you back on the show if possible, Dr. Bak, in a few, once we hit some milestones. And there's also some doctors amongst our group that are heavily positioned in the United States government. So I will be reaching out to them to see if they can help us facilitate. I love your concept of 2 to 1. That will just increase the number of the numbers in the coffers, I should say. And let's follow back with the audience and let them know what we have achieved soon, because this is, I believe it's going to be several months or if not years before there is sort of order established, and you're talking about millions of people have been displaced. It's not a good situation. So again, thank you, and let's have a follow-up on this if that's okay with you.
So thank you so much for your time and for putting your influence behind this. And again, I'm addressing you at home. I would love to thank you in advance, but please voice up and let's make a difference together.
Let's get started. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, and look forward to having you back on the show to discuss this more. Take care.